Love is the most misunderstood concept on earth.
Really?
Yes, it is. People will say God is love. The Bible says God is love in 1 John chapter 4, verse 8. But beyond that, it is noteworthy that love is not the main basis for marriage.
I don't understand.
I was having a seminar, I think that was in Houston, Texas, and I said this, and somebody was going to throw stone at me. What do you mean? Yes, I'm going to prove it to you. Love is not the main basis for marriage. Love does not make marriage work.
I don't agree with you.
I am going to prove that to you.
Okay.
This is because when something stronger than love, depending on the kind of love, arises, divorce, disease, infidelity, love breaks its band.
Then you didn't love the person.
If you think that the basis of marriage is love, what were you having before divorce? You ask people. I do ask everybody, I say, if you think the basis of marriage is love, what did you have before you had a divorce with your partner? You called it love? So why didn't you last? If what keeps marriage is love. That is a question.
Yeah, the love fizzled out.
That is, you just answered the question. That shows that love, if it could fizzle out, is not the basis of marriage. Just something.
Yes, your infidelity, your things you did that made it fizzle out.
I told somebody, I said,
yes,
put this in your mind, put the drama this way. You're staying with a lady, you had a Valentine, right? It's okay, time for kiss, I'm going to marry her. And the face is coming closer about the kiss, and she said, 1 second. He said, what? I don't know, I'm not taking my drug. Can I take it just we continue the kiss? What's the drug for? But I told them HIV. God forbid, I bind you. On the spot, he jumps up from the bed and did your saliva touch me? Oh my God! Somebody was telling me. I said, but you just love and told this person I'm ready to die for you 5 minutes ago.
I will die for you.
Something stronger than love came.
What was that stronger thing?
Disease.
Disease is stronger than love?
I say something. When something, I will prove it to you, arises. It is advisable not to get married because you love someone.
It's advisable not to get married because you love the person.
I will prove it to you. Those who divorce once love each other. You may have love, an aircraft. If I buy a private jet now, you will thank me so much. Do you know how to fly one?
Nope. Of course not.
Showing that it's not everything you love, you know how to handle.
Indeed.
It's not everything you love
that you know how to handle.
So the question is, what is the basis for marriage?
I would like to know.
We're not going into marriage today. Remember, we're going to have this program again?
Yes, we will. We'll definitely have this on Tuesday.
Good. But every Thursday, which is today, 4 p.m., I'm having life coach with people.
Every 4 p.m.?
Yes.
Where do you do this life coach?
Life Auditorium.
Okay.
Thank you for that organization for giving me
the auditorium.
Yes. That's where I used to talk to people, and it's free for now. Unfortunately, people spend more time studying about operational rules, like in America. You can't get on the road. Before they give you driver's license, it's going to take you months. First of all, they give you Bible-like, dictionary-like, and size book. Go and study about
traffic rules,
this and that. You study it for months and weeks. When you're done, they send their own VIOs, operational officers. They don't call them VIOs. They hear their VIO. They'll follow you. They watch how you maneuver. They watch how you park the car, how you observe signs which you read. Then you come and take written exams.
Wow.
That's why they could withdraw that from you when you cause any infraction and the rest of them. Now, this is what it takes them to satisfy you, to qualify, to be on their roads. But you know, in the same city, if you tell somebody on Monday, I love you, by Friday, you've waited.
In that same city?
In that same city. The following week, you've divorced. Marry a second one. Now, you ask yourself, are the roads safer than the homes? I don't know where you're getting my point.
I get your point.
It takes time to drive on their roads. It takes time to study. Get to know the roads. Get to know everything. But it takes just, I love you. How you doing? Your mom is there? Fine. We're married. Which one is safer? Love does not.
Makes sense.
Marriage. So what does?
What does? Good question.
Understanding
of what? Each other, or understanding of life?
I will explain that. I told you earlier that don't get married because you have feeling for someone. Why? Feelings changes. Feelings are the same thing as emotion.
Okay.
In fact, somebody told me emotion, that's where the pain came from. When you paint this place looks beautiful, by the way. The studio is wonderful. But when you paint a place newly, it looks amazing. But does it bother you that after a while, especially the standout areas,
yes,
from the scorching of the sun, that emotion will begin to do what?
Fade.
That's how feeling changes. Today, why are couples struggling? Have you tried to find out? Go and interview. I was speaking to a group in a marriage seminar, because I attend a lot and I speak. And I asked women, I said, be truthful to me. Those of you that are above 10 years in marriage and the rest of them, if I ask you to choose between your husband and your children, choose one. One say, "Kai, sir, you dey whine me." I've never had that before.
They'll take the children.
The lady was telling me, "Sir, you're whining me."
You're whining me.
I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "I should choose between these angels God gave me and this devil."
Whoa.
And I'm like, "Who's the devil?" Trust me, he was referring to the husband. I should choose between these angels God gave me and the Ekwensu, and he said it in Igbo. That is what marriage turns into when feelings begins to wind down. If you fall in love based on adrenaline, you know what I talk about here?
Yeah.
Hormones. Emotion. The problem is that you will always need a lot of it to keep servicing the feeling, perhaps to keep it on check. So that's why if you talk about feeling, that is not the basis for marriage. If you talk about emotions, it is not what I said again, that every divorced person still loves their partner. But they don't have enough knowledge and understanding to keep the marriage.
Every divorced
person, most of them,
still love their
partners, but they don't have enough knowledge and understanding to keep the marriage.
Okay.
If they're going to be sincere to themselves, from time to time, their partners flashes to them. They smile. Even if they see that partner, they frown. But inside them, there is that butterfly that is flying and falling. But they don't have enough understanding. So what is successful marriage then? Successful marriage is an application of knowledge and understanding, and not expression of love.
Knowledge and understanding.
Successful marriage is an application of knowledge and understanding, and not expression of love.
So wait, the knowledge now is knowledge of what? The person I'm getting married to?
I am going to break that down.
Maybe we should be at your meeting at 4 p.m.
By next week, yes, you need to be there if you have fine time. Yes. I encourage anybody who's coming around to come. Save a Life of the Children is at
38 Uyo Street.
By the time we start breaking down marriage, we begin to look at compatibility principles. Things you need to know before you get into marriage. Spiritual compatibility, sexual compatibility, so many compatibilities which I can't talk about here now. But what are you supposed to know? Difference between men and women and how we are wired. The scripture even said in Proverbs 4:7, it said, wisdom is the principal thing, but therefore get wisdom. And with all thy getting, it didn't say get love.
Get wisdom.
It said get understanding. And with all thy getting, get understanding. Get to understand the person you are marrying. Don't be in a hurry. By the time I'm done with this, you will see that any condition attached to marriage will destroy it. People handle that next week.
I can't wait.
Why are you married to that young lady? She's a nurse. Why are you guys quarreling in UK? I don't know. Since she came, I've not been happy with her and I'm beating her. Yeah, because you married a nurse and not the lady. The condition attached to that marriage is profession, not love. Why are you married to her? I saw her breast and her boobs, her this and that. And the rest of it, she get put to bed. Those things changes because of hormones and whatever. The whole marriage crashes. Anyone that is attached to any condition. So by the time we go further, we begin to look at kinds of love.
Yes.
So how are we wired? Difference between men and women. Men or male is wired logic. While female are wired emotional. The male is logical, is reasonable, organized, great thinker. While the female is emotional. Oh my God! Oh, if you see the seat, I'm already falling. The color is killing me. She picks her phone. Oh, John, I can't believe if you see the seat, my husband just showed me now. Why the husband is thinking, how much is the seat? From my 1 million naira, if I remove 700,000, are you sure I'll buy cement and complete my house? You see the logical aspect of man. But the lady, the color is killing me. If I bring it during our next meeting, women will like it. That's how they're created. If you don't like it, don't marry. God created him with that nature. Respect it. He put some men off. So why did you marry her? He didn't understand her nature. That's why you think they're manipulating you. They are not. They are crying. That's their nature. Every little makes them cry. Even though some of them are manipulative, they use that cry to blackmail you.
Yeah. But that is their nature.
That is their nature. And that's why I said it's based on understanding. Because if you don't know it, you think, oh, she's crying, you hit. And that's an abuse.
It is.
Because when purpose is misunderstood, abuse becomes inevitable. This microphone is meant to magnify my voice. That screen there is meant to show you stuff. When purpose is misunderstood, I told you, every vehicle have what they call auxiliary gear. If you drive an SUV, you fall into a ditch, you don't need to push it. You are ignorant. There's something there, switch or something you need to put. The car will rise and climb out of the ditch. But you see people that will call people, they start pushing that same car from the ditch and end up burning the clutches and the rest of them. So why are they burning the clutches? Because they misunderstood the purpose for that
vehicle.
That auxiliary gear. That's a purpose God created a woman. When he says it's not good for a man to be alone. In fact, history shows that man was created a hermaphrodite. There is presence of both male and female in a man. And God separated the female from the man to become a male helper. And he completed the man. That's why he says the bone of my bone. I do tell people, say, listen, God did not collect the bone from the feet. The man would have been pressing on the woman. He didn't collect the bone from the head for the woman to head the man. He collected the bone from the side.
From the side.
So that the woman can be a companion. He collected
not from the back.
Oh my goodness. He collected the bone from the side so that the woman can be near the heart. Collected the bone beneath the hand so that the man can protect the woman. I think I'm sounding Valentine.
Yes, you are. You sound like the exact Valentine now.
The truth about it is that women are emotional,
yes,
where men are logical. Number two, a man lives with his mind, while a woman lives with her heart. So that's why they break their heart.
The woman.
A man lives with his mind, while a woman lives with her heart.
Okay.
I love you. Are you serious? Tell me the truth that you love me. Igbam. He doesn't love you. Check well. It might be your money is coming for. You just told him 3 minutes ago that you have your dad left about $500 million for you. If I get this money, I think I can build an estate and leave this girl alone. That's his mind.
That's his mind.
And the lady is not understanding. Remember, we're going back to where marriage is based on. But for the lady, oh my God, the guys, if you see his chest, if you see, oh God, I'm falling for him. That's women. That's why they take advantage of them. For a woman, language spoken is an expression of what is the feeling. Why? For a man, the expression of what is his mind. Okay, a friend of mine said he came back and told the wife. Suri said yes. I saw Nkechi, your friend. He said yes. Wow. Do you know she has a low cut? So low cut is not the one you like now. I know. I know. No wonder. He said, I just said I saw Nkechi. She cut her. I know. No wonder I made my head. You didn't see
it.
You didn't see it. You didn't compliment it. You now love low cut. No wonder. I'm saying the other day I made my hair. That's women. But for the man, he just said it.
Well, as he saw it.
The way God created them, she makes that hair and comes back. She walks through you. He didn't say anything. He goes to the kitchen. If it's possible, she'll shake that hair to make sure at least she passes the message. This is a woman for you. If you're a responsible man that understands both the book and what I'm talking about, you're supposed to say, oh, honey, you changed your hair. This hair looks good, though. That's what she wanted. But do you know the man?
Yes.
If he barbs that his hair, whether you
say anything about it,
woman or not, I was always saying, no, it's none of his business. All the man wants is money. Whether you are saying this hair is fine or not. Men are like a camel.
Yeah.
The compliment you gave them in January, they are still carrying it.
They are still running on that.
They don't care.
They're still running on that fuel.
As long as the man is getting money. In fact, if you tell him that this your hair looks like thank you, he'll tell you thank you, moves. But not on a woman.
Yeah.
That is how they are created. Do you understand it as a man? Do you know that one thing you tell a woman can make her wake you up the next morning? Something a man will throw behind and says, women and their talk. Women, you just say women and their talk. And if you don't understand women and their talk, why are you getting into marriage?
You said love is not the reason.
To respect, that is the foolish. We've not gone to that. When we get to kinds of love, we begin to talk about filial, eros, storge, and agape.
We'll get to the kinds of love next week.
Next week.
Let's leave it here on establishing the foundation that love is not the reason why one should get married.
Yes.
And you have taken us to the part where it has to do with understanding.
Yes.
So you need to understand your partner enough to want to
how
marry
we
them.
are wired. I have about almost 16 or 20 of them.
How we are wired.
How we're wired. We're wired differently. And that's exactly what I'm explaining to you. The language that is had by a woman is emotional expression, while the language had by a man is receiving information.
That's what we have been.
Yay.
And there's about how many more? 15 more from that now.
You need to understand all this. How both of us are wired differently. You're talking to a man, you don't know you think it's the same thing that you are thinking, and you're laughing. And you know, in this state we live, now everybody's not doing this. The man is getting information. So really, if this is happening, so that there are tendencies that these guys might do this thing and hurt me tomorrow, but the woman is laughing about it. That's how they're treated.
That's how.
Respect her for that, and also respect the man who is always enthusiastic in his reasoning. If you don't understand how these both people are wired, like I'm going to tell you maybe subsequently, these things, you might not really understand how to get into marriage. We're going to look at, like I said, categories of love. You know, how then other characteristics of love, like love is a choice. The feelings, which I talked about, an act of will, a debt, and so on and so forth. There are so many things about that. Then we look at divorce. What does it lead to? You can just say, I'm going to divorce you. When you divorce, for instance, when every marriage that has a condition, which I told you, obviously leads to expectation. Expectation leads to disappointment. Disappointment leads to double vision. The meaning of double vision, division, that is division. Division, that's where the word came.
Yeah.
Double vision. Division, that is true. What does division lead to? Division leads to divorce. Divorce.
So that means you begin to have double vision.
Yes, I will explain all these things. I'm just giving you a divorce leads to death of relationship. Death of relationship leads to dysfunctional family. Dysfunctional family leads to dysfunctional decay. Dysfunctional decay leads to community destruction. When you hear that somebody just bombed a particular place, it started from those two guys, the man and the woman, that
with their division.
They didn't know that this is going to be the end product of the nonsense they were doing. When you hear that girl is doing this, killing people, or that boy just came in with a gun and shot somebody, deficiency in home. When I was handling issue of cultism in Nigerian University, I discovered that 80% of boys who joined cult were deficiency in home. You wouldn't know what that little quarrel you're having with your wife or husband is going to creating. Community destruction. Dysfunctional families. When people understand these things, you be careful. Say, for the sake of the product we're going to bring, let's hold this thing here. Because these children that we're going to release here and there, the other boy I was asking me, say, I watch my dad pound my mom. So naturally, I have this aggression. I didn't know where it's coming from. So my fellow students, shooting them is not a problem.
Wow.
That's where he lives to. We'll look at all this.
Wow. Meanwhile, your book, this Challenges of Liberation, is it available? Is it something people can buy? Is it something we can access?
Fortunately, I printed about 5,000 copies. So
it's all gone.
But I just have a few copies. We're trying to put them on Amazon and the rest of them. But we can also make them available. But for those that are interested, you can always join us, because some of these things are taught in our...
In the 4 p.m. class.
The 4 p.m.
And it's every Thursday.
Yes.
Every Thursday at Save a Life Auditorium, 4 p.m. You can find it at 38 Uyo Street off Stadium Road. 4 p.m. every Thursday. So that means today is a Thursday. By 4 p.m. you'll be there.
The life growth training about entrepreneurial growth, leadership skills, and when people begin to parade in ignorance, it's a very destructive weapon.
I mean, there's a lot to share. Obviously, from what you said now, we haven't even begun to scratch the surface. And this is just on love. There are other areas with which you have...
We've not talked about marriage. There's a lot to learn about. I've told you about marriage, compatibility in marriage, because why I say challenge of liberation, there's challenge of marriage. What is it all about? What should you do before you get into marriage? What are the steps that this guy... Challenge of compatibility. What are the challenges of compatibility? Physical compatibility, spiritual compatibility, sexual compatibility. So on and so forth. What are you supposed to do?
We definitely don't have enough time to cover all of that. But again, we'll be here next week, Tuesday. And I think for next week, Tuesday is earlier. It's about 9 a.m. in the morning. So we can have enough time to dissect some of these things on Tuesday. But we'll do that we'll make the regular announcement to remind those of us about our 9 a.m. appointment on Tuesday. But for today, again, let me remind you that 4 p.m. At Civil Life Auditorium, you can also meet up with Barrister Inaji there, where he's speaking on some of these things. You don't want to miss it. But I'll open the phone lines in case anybody who has heard something now and is taken aback, like I was, to understand that love is not the basis for marriage, and you think you want to ask 1 or 2 questions around that, please, the phone lines will be open for a moment or two. Or you also want to talk to Barrister Inaji from the point of the Doctors Save a Life Foundation. Maybe you want to ask if an estate, or you want to ask whether a community, or you want to ask whether a society or group, anywhere, in whatever format, can be available or can receive the foundation on these coachings or these teachings. You can also call in and let's have that conversation real quickly, because time will be wrapping this up by 1:30. The numbers to dial are 081 87 888 889. That's 081 87 888 89. And you have 091 6000 889. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, please, what's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Brian. Good afternoon. I want to ask.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm someone understands the league and does not love the league.
Sorry, could you ask the question again?
The doctor said something. He said, before one gets married, you have to understand the person. I think someone understands somebody and doesn't love the person and gets married to the person.
All right, so I said we're still going to break things down. Half-baked education is worse than illiteracy. So you've not really gotten the details of what we're teaching about. When I mean that love is not, it doesn't mean that that's absence of love. There are 4 kinds of love which I'm talking about. So we talked about filial. I got out there, I saw you. Each time I come to this station, I give you sweets, give you snacks. And from there, the guy buys snacks for me. I think I'm going to marry him. That's a wrong way of starting your marriage. That's a condition. Because there are tendencies that after this, I'm not going to be buying the snacks. What happens to the marriage? Okay, you look at Eros. He's always asking for sex and the whole thing, just like yesterday. I noticed that 90% of Valentine, whatever is, who is with you, where are you going to stay, which hotel, is that what the Valentine definition is all about? Then there must be something wrong. The marriage should not be based on that. If he embraces sexual longing, cravings, and desire with no respect for sanctity, as long as I have sex with him, he remains my lover. There are tendencies that when the person marries, that susceptibility may not be there. That's why you hear about infidelity, men going out to satisfy, because the marriage was originally based on errors. So loving someone, it depends on what you call love. It's not easy on surrogate. That's tender affection between parents and children. The real love, which is agape. I understand him. I can't attach anything, but there's something that connects us. So it's not a function of she's a nurse or a doctor is why I'm marrying him, because if tomorrow he's no longer working. Something. There's this connection between us. That's when we teach about compatibility. You can see that both of you agree. By the time we start breaking out, there's a book by Tim LaHaye, Why You Act the Way You Act. Yeah. The sanguines, the melancholics, the cholerics. That's why I said we can't pour everything out here. And so I had to start this new school and the coaching school, which will be every 4 o'clock and stuff. So you find out that if, for instance, if you're a melancholic, or if you're a cholerics and you're sanguine, or if you're a cholerics, I'm a cholerics, we're going to burn down the house. Because they are one angle shooting, shooting. Cholerics are so they flee up the handle, and this guy is angry, this guy is angry. That's a terrible combination. Yeah. So when you look at this thing, there are factors. That's why I say he's understanding.
He's understanding.
Understand this is somebody telling you, I'll kill you. This hard language is coming from a man. And the lady is saying, I go maim you. Imagine kill you.
And maiming.
In fact, a friend of mine said, when a doctor marries a nurse, they produce the patient. Don't mind me. Imagine such a terrible combination where I go kill you and I maim you.
Oh, maim you.
So what kind of thing are you going to produce?
Yeah. So I hope you understood him correctly. It's not the absence of love completely when you say you need to understand the partner. There is indeed love, but he also mentioned you have to understand the kind of love that must exist if you're looking at a marriage that should last time.
Look beyond the shape of this and shape of that. These are ephemeral things that are going to change with time. As the woman grows, start having kids, some of those things, when they change, will you still stand her? So many men can't stand their wives today. I'm being frank.
Because of what they look like now.
They irritate them. That's just from the beginning. They didn't really understand. So many men, or even ladies, their husband irritate them. Because she didn't really understand that this is beyond the
body.
Or your body and whatever.
Beyond the body.
You need to understand and look, listen, highlight the value. The same person that is irritating you is the one putting together. A friend of mine was telling me, my wife might not be anything, but my kids are amazing. She teaches them. Okay, you married her, she's shining, do whatever. She can't even spell it. Yeah, all your kids are failing the exam. She can't do one single, extramural class or assignment for them. She's just there. She can't cook for you, and nothing is working around you.
She's like a shiny jewel.
Ooh, those kind of stuff. So it's good to put all this perspective together.
All right, then. All right, because of time, I'm still going to take one more because I want to go back and wrap this up from the Doctors Save a Life Foundation front. But one more call will be taken. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from? From Oporo Road. Okay, go ahead.
I really want to commend the thank you so much. Guys, you come married to somebody you don't love. At the end of the day, you're trying to understand him. So it's really getting more difficult for you to understand him, even after putting in all your best. How do you try to handle that? Are you to leave the marriage, or do you believe in God that it will be fine?
Okay, there is a saying that it's cheaper to train a child than to repair an adult. Let's connect it back to what we are doing at Doctors Save a Life Foundation. We talk about prevention.
Yes.
My grandmother used to say that provision is better than kiosk, which is prevention is better than...
Provision is better than kiosk.
Provision is better than kiosk. Why we are sounding this alarm is for those that are not yet married.
Yeah.
Don't allow all these ephemeral excitements, pomp and pageantries to carry you away. Bought me a car. These things are like without foundation, they're going to pass. But whereby your question is, if I'm already there, you're already in the mess. We can make a message out of it. This is why you have, like some of these programs we're teaching now. How do we repair my home? I'm already in the mess.
I'm already in the mess.
How do I make a message out of my mess?
Yes.
So you need to have a mentor. You need to have somebody you can talk to. You need to attend classes. If it's possible, where both of you can submit yourself to such classes, then that was going to be amazing. For the gentleman to understand that it doesn't matter. The darkest part of the night is the time close to dawn. You can also make something out of what you call a mess. God can bring something out of it. And what is it? Let both of you begin to have some inspirational teachings. This is where you are missing it. This is where the understanding. All right? The lady might be, or the man might be the type that is very nagging type or whatever. There are teachings to these things for both of you. It's trying to bring back compatibility. This is where this guy is meeting it. This is where you thought you've been having this right, but you're getting it wrong. Even though it's a difficult thing to do because both of you have formed your mind.
Yes.
Because
already.
Yes, it's easier to burn a fish when it's fresh. You can put a stick in it and start drying it. But when you dry the fish and put a stick, you break it. So at this point, this person believes I'm right. This other person believes I'm right. So it takes longer, but it works. This is why you have counseling section. Counseling section is not just for those that are married. It's also for those who are already married or sorry that they are married.
Okay.
Because there are those that are sorry that they are married.
Let's fix that sorriness.
You can also bring them together to let them know this is where you're getting it wrong. For instance, my late father told me, son, it is act of cowardice to beat a woman. You don't have any excuse. I don't care how she's speaking to you. We're going to finish up how they are wired. I don't care. That's their nature. Don't give me any excuse. You don't have any excuse to beat a woman.
She insulted my father. She insulted my mother.
You don't have any reason to beat a woman. And by the way, there's a way you talk to someone. It's worse than beating.
Yes.
Okay? That's also that. When we talk about domestic violence, that's another topic for another day.
Another day.
There's so many men. Oh God, that's a lot.
So
to
this
talk
lady
about.
this girl that's the
she
lady.
Said she's already there trying to make the man understand.
She can't understand
By
him.
the time we start breaking it down, now the man you're trying to understand might be going through issues. Men are wired differently. Even in hospitals, you see a man telling you, why is it that men don't easily go to hospital? You see a man driving the husband and telling the doctor, check my wife, she's the one sick. Meanwhile, he's the one hypertensive. He's the one going through issues. He's trying to save money. They believe everything. That's why I said logic and men.
It's logic.
Okay? You see a man lying down every night. Women are emotional. She comes with problem. Whoa! Ah! The whole thing goes off. The toxins and everything, she screams them out. That's why I say they're emotional. But the man, oh boy, no problem. Are you sure? No problem.
So the toxins are still
The
in
whole
there.
thing are there. You, every night, yeah. What is it? Why?
It's clearing his throat.
No problem, but you're nodding and doing this. They like. So, what does a woman help? At that point, can you get him out of that pit? He's in a pit. You see some women that will bounce in. Be here. Be here. You cops. You can't even help yourself. You can't go out like others. When you start comparing a man, you touch his ego.
Yeah.
Don't
And
kill your
a
marriage
lot of women quickly
by
do that.
openly touching the ego of your husband. He might not forgive you. Look at you. Others are there. Others are there. Is it not Jenny's wife that bought the husband that bought this? Is it not this? In that place, that's where you hear a stroke. Think about you walking in. Sorry, I don't know why you're lying down here. But myself and the children are proud of you. You're the king of this house. You may have lost your walk last week, but I want you to look at me and look at the kids. We're still proud of you. I'll stand by you, providing the little I can, because I'm praying for you and I know you're going to pull back. You're that man I know, not just a workaholic, but you're innovative. Whatever it is that is going on, I'm praying for you. And when you come out of this, we're all going to smile. You see him saying, honey, hey, that food he said I didn't eat left. Can you guys
Bring it.
This is how. That's why I said you need counseling.
All right. So for the lady who just called in, I don't know if she can make time. She can be at the 4 p.m.
Why not?
Right? Or she can be
It's
at the
open
4
up for
p.m. because
anybody. Yeah.
you can find more details to some of these things. That and in your case, I think why I'm a bit sympathetic to it is you're already in that marriage and you're saying you're now trying to understand. Well, come for the seminar or the coaching class today. You might just get more out of it. 08187 888 889 or 091 6000 8890. I'll call that number again. We've got 091 6000 8890 and 081 87 888 889. Before I wrap up on this love issue and then move on to the foundation and then see if I can wrap up on one or two questions from there, what last thing do you want to tell us concerning these issues on love?
Well, I started by telling you that love is one thing that is very misunderstood in the society. And God is love. Love is not easily provoked. Love envieth not. Love endure. I spell my love LOVE. Learning, observing, verifying to endure. That endurance could be enjoyed.
Learning,
observing,
verifying.
That is where the understanding comes in. Then endure.